Welcome to John Michael's Rockbox. I'm your host, John Michael. I get to host this show that, well, it's a show about you. If you're a musician, if you're a solo artist, if you're a painter, if you write books, you're a dance club, well, I'd like to hear from you. Send me your information to jmrockbox@mcaet.org. All right, we'd like to hear from you, and somebody will get right back to you. Now, also, if you'd like to watch the show, simply go to mcaet.org/watch, and you'll see all the variations on how you can watch the Rockbox. And, well, this show really wouldn't last without you, so we do definitely need your donations. And visit mcaet.org/donate. We'd like to welcome you to the Rockbox, and with that being said, let's head on over and meet our guest. And welcome to the Rockbox. All right, welcome to the Rockbox. It's good to have you along today, and very excited to have a special guest with us today, Toby Gray. Toby, how's it going?
It's going great, John Michael. It's a beautiful day here in California, and
Yeah.
thanks for having me in here.
Well, thanks for coming by.
My pleasure.
Well, it's I saw your website and checked out a couple of stuff that you do, and you've been at this for some time, have you?
I've been doing this since the late 60s.
Nice.
Been doing my solo thing that you're seeing here today for about the last 4 or 5 years, and wanted to break away from the band stuff a bit. But yeah, long time. Many miles, many years on the road and stuff. And I'm a lifer.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things, and I say it a lot, that once you're involved in one of these, you're a musician and you get a taste of what it's like to be out there. It's kind of one of those things you can never really sit down and walk away from.
It's not easy, as I'm at an age where I'm kind of slowly retiring. I'm cutting back a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing I like about the solo thing, is I'm not dragging a band around in the trucks and all that. But no, it's in your blood, and it goes on forever. So
it's really good. So you run around playing a lot. Do you do that, being a solo?
I've been doing pretty much around Santa Cruz. Got a couple of 3 wineries I play at, a couple of clubs. And what's nice is they're all within about 2 miles of my house.
Oh.
So it's real easy gigging, and good people, and they all pay well, knock on wood.
Yeah.
And which is unusual in this day and age.
I know.
And so that's kind of my criteria right now, is based around there. And I'm kind of at a point now where people are calling me up, and I have to turn away a few gigs. So
wow.
It's a good place to be. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, that's a good thing. All right, so this show, it kind of helps. It really showcases you, and it gives you a chance to maybe help some young or maybe even older starting off musician and things they want to do, or that you've been around doing this for a while. You can give some insight as to running around performing solo, and websites and practicing and learning stuff.
That's one of the things I enjoy about some of the Facebook groups and things, is the musicians groups, and you get some of the up-and-comers who have questions about, how much they should be paid, or how to approach this, or what kind of music, or really expectations. Sure. And it kind of comes back to how much energy you have, and what your expectations are. But I love mentoring people. I've taught bass for a few years. And having good students, that was always a joy.
Oh.
Bad students, not so much.
Sure.
But the good ones were that really kicks it up a notch or two. So.
Yeah, okay. Coming up pretty soon, this next break, we'll talk about your websites and stuff like that, so that people can maybe come by and find you. And
please, yes.
Maybe
we'll get that info.
Do you still take students?
I haven't for a while. It's. I just kind of put that on the back burner.
Right.
And kind of my philosophy with teaching was to really, within 10 or 12 lessons, get them to a point where they could fly on their own.
Oh.
If they wanted to come back for a refresher or something, but it was kind of, how to teach yourself method. I would get the proper hand techniques and, basic knowledge of scales and chords and that kind of thing. And once they were physically off, try to just show them how they could fly on their own.
Oh.
So I didn't go for that 3-4 year student kind of thing.
Yeah,
and
right.
So it was a constant churn and constantly looking for people, and So no, I'm not doing it right now, but I would take a student or two if someone approached me and wanted to do it.
Okay, after we check out some stuff from Toby, then we'll talk about websites and maybe where you can find out how to get in touch with Toby, or maybe even you just want to book him after you probably see what it's like that he does some really good stuff. And I was kind of impressed with watching your website and watching some of the things that you did and a lot of your songs, and we're actually going to hear some of your stuff now.
A few of them today. What you're hearing today is some of the original stuff from my Earth Songs project. You know, growing up in the Midwest and then traveling around the West a little bit. So, but I do a variety of things. You know, a lot of classic rock stuff for the wineries and the clubs, and I even do a little holistic thing where we go out and we'll do an earth blessing and a drum circle, and you know, put feathers in our hair and everything. And so it's whatever is appropriate for the time.
All right, here's the time. Let's listen to something from Toby Gray.
This is called Sitting in Paradise. A little tune called Sitting in Paradise. It's the title off my third CD. The thing about paradise is, you know, right here we're in California, we're sitting right here, but it's not just where you're at, it's who you get to share it with. It makes it so special. Sitting in paradise right next to you. Sitting in paradise, enjoying the view. Sitting in paradise, all I wanted to, you know. Being in paradise is being here with you. Let it roll. Let your love roll on and on now. Let it grow. Let your love grow on and on. Let your love be everything. Let your love be everywhere. Alright. Yesterday was everything that I hoped it would be. Tomorrow's looking mighty fine. Be here now is the way that it's supposed to be. And I said, being in paradise is being here with you. Let it roll. Let your love roll on and on now. Let it grow. Let your love grow on and on. Let your love be everything. Let your love be everywhere. Let it roll. Let your love roll on and on. Let your love be everything. Let your love be everywhere. Alright. Sitting right next to you. Oh, enjoying the view. Another thing to do. Sitting in paradise, child. Oh. Here in paradise.
Welcome back. Good to have you along with us again. And wow, what did you think, Toby Gray? Man, that's some good stuff, Toby.
Well, thank you, brother. Thank you. That was fun. I'm loving the studio. You guys got the great setup here. It sounded wonderful, and it's a joy.
Well, it's really more of a joy for us to have you here. So you know,
God bless you.
We absolutely love the fact that we can get artists coming in, and you know, it's like we always say, this is not a talent show. This is more a show of talents, and you know, you fit right in there. And I was glad that you found us and wanted to come onto the show. Now, I see that you, since we're talking about the recording, you got that kind of going on at your place, don't you?
I've got a small studio, a Pro Tools studio, where I can do 48 tracks, and done a lot of projects, mixed down the last 2 It's a Beautiful Day CDs,
Right.
actually 3 of them we did, and a few local artists. I did the last 2 Joe Ferrara CDs. He's a quite often musician of the year up in Santa Cruz, and
Oh.
wonderful vocalist. And then my own CDs. I've got 5 CDs I've cranked out through there over the years. And it's a nice tool to have, you know, kind of wander out, out into the studio in the backyard and play around.
Nice.
I used to have a instrument rental business, which kind of gave me license to buy any instrument I wanted. So, you know, got the Hammonds and the grand piano, and
nice.
for drum kit for a while. That was drum kits are kind of like boats. You know, the second happiest day of your life is when you buy the drum kit, and the happiest day of your life is when you get rid of it. So, my back was very happy when that went away. But anyway, a lot of the good toys to play with. So.
Oh, definitely. So, where can people find you on your website and purchase CDs and stuff like that?
Highwaybuddha.com, Highway, Buddha, Buddha.com. You can Google Toby Gray, TobyGray, and put music after it, and I'll pop up most places. So,
Oh, nice.
So, been on the web for a long time, so I'm fairly entrenched with the search engines these days. So.
And so you got video clips and all that on
Video
there?
clips and MP3s, and the CD Baby store is linked up there, so you can purchase downloads, and of which I get, I think, 1/1000th of a penny, you know, or something. You know?
It's funny how that works.
You know, but the CDs are available on there as well. I do PayPal and that kind of stuff. So.
Right.
But a lot of music's on there. You can check it out and read my bio a little bit. You know, some good fun, you know, history stories and the different kinds of music and things I play for. So.
Is there any particular favorite style that you like that you prefer over another as far as you performing?
Well, that's a good question. You know, I'm a big fan of the 60s.
Right.
And so I enjoy, you know, when I'm doing some of the club work and stuff, I've got a nice set of, you know, things like White Rabbit and Somebody to Love and Get Together and some of that. You know, that just kind of resonates. And that was part of my reason of doing the solo thing, was doing music that I grew up with and that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
That I have fun with.
Oh, good.
But I do it all. You know, the holistic stuff is fun too, because I've always been a fan of Eastern religions, and so to get out the tabla and the hand drums and, you know, kind of get that Eastern vibe going and tie it into the earth that's a lot of fun too. So.
Oh, that is. Do you hear it in your head, like when you're putting these songs together? Like
I think I do. You know, I do. It's
prior?
I usually go with a sense of. There's different ways of approaching songs, you know, but often I hear a melody and I'll go with it, and sometimes I just come up with a chord progression that I like the sound of, that sounds kind of groovy, and then I'll add the melody, create a melody to go with that. So. It's kind of variety is the spice of life, I believe. With and in the same way in composing, whether you're composing from a piano or the guitar or just simply melody based, you know, coming from your heart.
Oh, sure. I like that. What is your website again?
Highwaybuddha.com.
I like that, Highway Buddha. That's pretty cool. So, are you have any songs that you'll be performing off that?
Yes. Well, the tunes that I play today. They're from the last CD called American Dreamer, and the last tune is a thing called Phantom Ghost. It was a story of traveling around the West and kind of thinking about the old mountain men days and that kind of stuff. And another tune about just writing music, you know, writing about what you see in front of your eyes.
All right.
And that kind of stuff. So but that's all off the last CD, American Dreamer. And I've got a CD called Sitting in Paradise that, in fact, when the first tune is off of that. And that's just, here we are sitting in paradise and enjoying the view.
All right, man, let's check out another view for your ears. Toby Gray.
Music in your eyes. tune I wrote for my cat. Sometimes when you're writing music, you're trying to come up with that third verse or the chorus, and your mind just stops. Often as not, it's something right there in front of your eyes. Sitting on the porch tonight, watching fireflies on the field. I'm thinking of you, yes, and all the times. Bluebirds sitting with the dove. I know they're singing about their love. And I said, black cat rolling in a rainbow. See the music in your eyes. See the music in your eyes. Warm sand on your toes, the tide comes and goes. Butterflies and zebras floating by and by, way up high. Bluebirds sitting with the dove. No, they're singing about their love. And I said, black cat rolling in a rainbow. See the music in your eyes. See the music in your eyes. See the music in. Jasmine in the air, you can smell it everywhere. Oh, clouds on the bay, it's another, a beautiful day. Bluebirds sitting with the dove. Oh, they're singing about their love. And I said, black cat rolling in that rainbow. See the music in your eyes. 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 See the music in your eyes.
All right, welcome back. What do you think? Pretty cool stuff. Toby, you know, there was rumors running around that you kind of chummed around with Dick Clark a little bit there.
Well, back in the early 70s, I had some friends who moved out from Indiana. That's where I went to college. And they moved down to LA. And they gave me a call one day and says, hey, we've got this gig. It's backing up bands for Dick Clark.
Oh.
And we need a bass player. And so I said, well, twist my arm, you know.
Sure.
So I was on about the next plane out of there and went out, and we were based out of LA for a while. I had a little place up in Laurel Canyon, and this was like 1974. And spent several years traveling around, backing up bands for Dick Clark, and going into Las Vegas, playing some of his shows and things. And it was a great way to see the country. You know, I was in my early 20s, and it was a blast. It was a real blast, and did that for years. Later on in the around 1980, moved up to the Bay Area, and this is one of those things. You know, be careful what you wish for. I was going through the phone book, calling up agents, trying to find a gig, and the first guy who actually answered the phone, that wasn't an answer machine, said, "Well, the Flames are looking for a bass player." And I think the Flames, this is like a Detroit band or something.
Yeah.
Well, it was David and Linda LaFlame from It's a Beautiful Day.
Oh.
Which I had been just infatuated with that album when I was in high school. I already knew all the tunes.
Right.
And so I latched up with them, and I'm still playing with them. You know, this is 36 years later.
Wow.
I'm still going out there playing It's a Beautiful Day, means White Bird and Hot Summer Day, if you're not familiar with it. And it's great. You know, it's that old hippie thing. And I've got to play with a lot of my heroes from the early days, the Big Brother guys, and most of the Jefferson Airplane crew. I've known them, and Barry Melton from the Fish, and we do some of these, like the Monterey 40th anniversary of the Pop and all the Golden Gate things, and we got the 50th anniversary of Summer of Love coming up next year. So if you can imagine, 50 years, a little scary.
Wow. I went to that 40th anniversary.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was a good time, We could have used a couple more busload of Canadians in there, but the lineup was stellar.
Yeah,
and what's fun is the vibes are so nice.
Right.
You know, it's really it's that peace and love thing is still alive, and that'll never get old.
I don't think so. I think it kind of reverts back at some point or other. You know, it just kind of
goes in cycles.
Yeah, it goes in cycles. Keeping the fact that you're playing music, taking care of your inner musician, and and it's always just got to be the love of and having fun.
Well, and you were talking about the music, and there's some tunes like Stephen Stills' "For What It's Worth,"
right?
Which is kind of I don't call it a protest tune, but it's kind of like a tune of the times, and it's timeless. I mean, that stuff is still going on. It relates to what's going on today just as much as it did back in the 60s when he let it out. And tunes like Get Together and some of that stuff. So very much, just kind of hit the heart and makes you think a little bit.
Yeah, by all means it does. Any sort of suggestions, recommendations you can share, and somebody wanting to really pursue music a little bit more?
Follow your heart. Play something you enjoy. I've done a few things at high schools where we've talked about, career day.
Right.
And I always tell the students, obviously you got to be really good because there's always going to be people better than you. But take your business classes because you are a small business, and if you're going to be successful, you have to know how to do business. You know how to negotiate with people, do contracts, and that they don't really want to hear that. But that really is the baseline of being successful out there, and know how to make a profit.
Right. This is true. It's a lot of valid points. And in fact, if you are going to be running around these days anymore, because record companies are starting to really fade away as everything's online, everything's web-based.
It's a moving target. You don't have the record companies like you used to. The online sales are tough. And it's moving that way. And I would say over the last 5 years, there's been a huge shift in how music is being sold on the internet even.
Oh, yeah.
Just be adaptable, be able to make a change and make it fun. If you're not enjoying it, think about what you're doing.
All right. Well, let's have some more fun with Toby Gray. Thanks for coming by the Rockbox, Toby.
Thank you, my friend.
Pleasure having you.
This
All
has
right.
been
Thank you for having joining us here and Toby Gray at the Rockbox.
This is called The Phantom Ghost. Back in the 60s and the 70s, I had a chance to roam around the West a lot. For a while, we were living in Salt Lake and looked out of Missoula, Montana. Drove past the Tetons more times than I can count. Not a bad thing. But when you're out there in that part of the country, you can't but help but feel the old West. Long before the Iron Horse, the covered wagons. Back when it was the Indians and the buffalo running wild. The mountain men coming through trading furs. Little story of Jackson Hole and the headwaters of the Missouri River. Pulled north out of Jackson, riding horse on the Great Plateau. Many trails of the West, you know, traveled often, but only by a few. We rode on together under the eyes of the wildcats there. And I said, Rocky Mountain sunrise, aspen trees, they're glowing gold. The great divide high above us looks the spirit. The phantom ghost. Green River Rendezvous, it's the gathering of the sky clad. Pow wow with the Indian warriors, smoking pipe and trading furs. We rode on together under the eyes of the wildcat stare. I said, Rocky Mountain sunrise, aspen trees, they're glowing gold. The great divide high above us grows the spirit. Ooh, the phantom ghost. The great spirit ghost. Many freedoms of the West, you know, far away from the government man. Living free off the land now, with the eagle, the elk, and the bear. We rode off together under the eyes of the wildcat stare. And I said, Rocky Mountain sunrise, aspen trees, they're glowing gold. Great divide high above us floats the spirit of the phantom ghost. Great spirit ghost. The old Indian ghost. Hey, yeah, 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 hey, yo. Hey, yeah, 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 oh, hey, oh, yeah. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah.